Yes. As I walk through the uncanny valley of death, you shall fear no evil, for I am that evil.
Yeah, we got holidays like hell coming up. Thanksgiving is happening on this side. That's on a Thursday. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. That's next Thursday.
Why do you guys celebrate colonization? Is that not a bit
I,
strange?
no, I don't know, man. I don't know. Why? What are we giving thanks for? That we
It's
took
like
everything.
bonfire night. We celebrate a terrorist need to kill a bad king and failed. Why is that a celebration?
It really shouldn't be.
If you're on the left or the right, it's not a good thing.
No. And on that note, welcome to Uncanny Valley. We're here today talking about Take Shelter, a 2011 movie directed by Jeff Nichols. I really loved this one. What did you think about it, Charlie?
It's alright, innit? It's like, it's good, but it's not very interesting, is it?
Interesting. I feel like I have.
No, it's not. That's the point. It feels like it was a good script, but they gave a mediocre director, like, can you just film this? Like, there was no vision in mind. It's just a series of incredibly boring shots of our main character talking out of a quarter of his mouth and looking a bit glum.
I thought this movie was kind of gorgeous in some parts.
No, Chris. It's great. There's nothing to it.
There's who directed why am I only remembering Antlers? He directed Antlers, but he also directed Out of the Furnace and shoot, I'm gonna look up his name while I'm talking, but he's directed all these movies about rural America that have
Yeah, but okay,
very
you
interesting
can't bring
vibe.
up Antlers, because Antlers,
That's a bad
there's
movie
good
also. I
shots
know, I
in it.
felt bad that that's what I thought of.
It looked boring the entire time. How did you make a Wendigo look?
That's a good question. Scott Cooper. This gave me a little bit of Scott Cooper. I came into this knowing I like Jeff Nichols. I love Midnight Special, which he made with Michael Shannon after this.
I have not seen.
I think from Midnight Special, I knew to expect something. That movie is going a little more for a Spielberg type feeling, whereas this is trying to be a family drama within the eye of a storm of a sci-fi or a horror concept.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. We were like, we're gonna start a podcast. One of the first films you choose is just a really depressing family drama.
I like that. Yeah, it's not the horror of it isn't front and center so much, but
The
I came
real
into it
horror is
wanting to pick something a
whiffing.
little headier and more thoughtful, and I don't regret it.
But I don't think it's thoughtful. That's my thing. I watch it and I'm like, yeah, this is what it says on the tin.
I don't think
I feel like it's got a lot more potential.
I see that, definitely. And that's something we're talking about. I don't
Especially
think
because do like there's all horror element, and then when the horror is in, it's like, oh, this is, and then we go, actually, forget about that. We're done. That was only the first half of the movie. Now we're just going to be sad for a bit.
I didn't get that from it. The horror served really well to create sort of a veneer of unease, and it goes hand in hand very well with that this character is searching for an answer psychologically as well. The script itself doesn't lock you down into the idea of horror. It keeps it at play, and I find that very interesting. I thought the family drama was really effective in this movie. I was interested seeing how the family interacted, watching how Curtis isn't as involved in his daughter's education as someone who is non-vocal. I liked seeing how Samantha, the mother character, was a lot more caring, how when she would approach her daughter, she would take a wide circle to make sure she was approaching from within her line of sight so she wasn't surprising her. I felt like there was a lot at play showing you a rift that was already forming in this family and showing you how they were connected and what things could have led them to get this far with each other, even though these rifts are forming. I was really into the drama in this movie.
Okay, I'm interested to see what you took from this movie, because I didn't see a lot of that. For the first 20 minutes, I was like, well, this kind of sucks because he seems like a real nice guy. And then by the end, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks because he seems like he was at one point a real nice guy. And that was kind of about as far as I got with it. I don't feel like character dynamics don't change that much from the initial start of it towards the end. Obviously, the extremity of Shannon's character's action and put around him, it feels like it's building up to something, and then the crescendo happens, and then it's like, is that the crescendo? And then we get a kind of wanky ending, but I was getting ended, man.
Let's
I
get
think
to
the
that.
ending is what really ruined this, man.
That's crazy. I love the ending.
No.
Let's get to that. Let's not jump to that immediately. Let's get into some actual movie first.
Okay, tell
Before
me the
we
movie.
jump
I don't
into
know
the
anything.
plot proper, that is what
Yeah.
I enjoyed about the drama in this movie, is that it felt like the dynamics were established before the movie starts. That all of these characters have already fallen into the places they're going to fall into. There's already a rift being created between Duart and Curtis that work together, because Duart can see that Curtis is not fully putting his effort into his family. There's even a big pile of refuse in their backyard that makes me think that Curtis has been planning to build a shelter or an extension on his shelter even before this movie begins. That he's probably been having visions like this for a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe two.
Oh, is that what you took from? Because the reason we know about the refuge in the back is the scene where his daughter's playing out the back, and she's like, "Hey, you have to clean this up." She found a rusty nail out the back. I took it as he has these visions and worries of a storm. A storm did happen, and that was maybe like a shed or something that he had that had been
Interesting.
damaged previously. Oh, we're good.
Okay.
This is one where we've got different opinions on a thing, and it's not just whether it's shit or not.
Yeah, see, that's why I like a movie like this, because it's at least, it has depth to it, even if when a certain person steps into it, they only feel it goes up to their ankle. It's variable. But let's
What do you
get
mean?
to
What does that
point.
mean?
Go ahead.
Chris, explain that sentence. I have no idea what that means. Goes up to
I'm
whose
saying I
ankle?
see a lot of depth in this movie, and it's okay that you don't. But I like that it shifts and differs. It's not something we can just flatly make a comment on and then say whether we liked or not. The state of the movie itself is in question on a level, because there was thought
I
put
don't
into
know.
it.
For me, it feels like, say you went into a fancy restaurant and then they had some buttered bread, and you were like, "Oh well, everything around here's quite. This looks like a well done place. This will probably be the best buttered bread I've ever had." And then you get it, and you're like, "That was a bit of buttered bread, wasn't it?" I just felt so surface. I don't understand the depth. I don't. Yeah. Need to start the movie because main character gets a golden shower from God, and he doesn't seem too phased about it.
We open up
Different.
on Michael Shannon and his craggly stone face looking up into the heavens, and we see a big storm coming. The storm effects in this movie are pretty. It's not super complicated, but I thought all of that looked really nice. And then he gets
The one
orange
thing
rain.
I kept thinking about whenever I saw Michael Shannon's face, I feel like he could be your dad. I feel like, see if
think he
you were
could
like,
be my
this is a
dad.
photo. See if you showed me a photo of a man and went, "This is my dad," and he looked like Michael Shannon. I'd be like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Right, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He has that vibe.
See if you introduced me to your parents and it was Jessica Chastain and Michael Shannon. I'd be like, "Yeah, I can see that."
I like
Or maybe I
that
was
they're
from.
matched up in this movie. It doesn't feel like it makes sense on a face level, and because of that, I start interpreting that they must have met in a very specific context. They must have met somewhere where similar interests got them talking rather than just catching each other's eyes. And that could not be true. You know, everyone has different tastes, but it
I
has
like
me...
it. I like it. Your interpretation of this is he's a bit of an uggle and she's Jessica Chastain, so there must be something fishy.
Well,
And not
I
just the
mean,
director went, "These are good actors. We need to get them in quick."
it could be both. You definitely always want to cast for the piece as a whole. You know, you want to cast the individuals and then see how their chemistry is together. And I wouldn't be surprised if the way they both look played into casting them together.
I think the fact that Michael Shannon can only talk out of 25% of his mouth at all times went to his role.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of good mumbling in this movie. A lot of mumble acting.
It's not even mumbling, it's his mouth. He looks like a stroke victim. He has like one side of his mouth that he talks out. He always talks like this. No matter what anyone's saying to him, no matter what side, it's always the left side of his mouth. It's like he's puffing out. It's like he should have a pipe in there, but he doesn't. I don't know if he was supposed to go for a depressed attitude, but it looks like he's suffered mild brain damage before the
He
start
does
of the movie.
something a few times in this movie I really like. Just a character tick where he pulls his lower lip in and just keeps gnawing on it. He's just eating his lip out of anxiety.
Would you not if you were working opposite Jessica Chastain at all times?
Yeah, maybe.
Always shaking in between shots.
But speaking of, we are then introduced to, after this vision cuts out, introduced to his home life, which includes his wife, played by Jessica Chastain, his daughter, played by an actor who I'll find the name of, who does an amazing job and is only in this movie. And
Yeah, I found
it's
that really
introduced
strange.
with a gorgeous tracking shot, which they use through the first half or so of the movie during the home scenes to make you feel very locked down in their dynamics, to give you a sense that they are all working together still. I like
I
that
feel
a
like
lot too.
I've walked into like a uni student's dissertation on a movie where he was he was trying to find things that happened in the film. Oh no, this is going to
They
be
don't
like
use a lot of tracking shots like that in the movie, besides at the dinner table.
yeah, probably because he blew over money on Michael Shannon and Jessica Chastain.
Uh-huh. If that's
Like
how
we
you
can
want
only
to see it, man.
can only afford 2 tracking shots, just reusing.
That's what's beautiful about media, though, is even if that's what happened, you can still interpret it as part of the art. It still becomes something of its own at
No,
some
but
point. I also don't
see that
believe that.
wanky argument where they're like, I don't know, it's up for you to. It's like, no, you're the artist. You clearly had a vision when you were making a thing. See, when they get in it, they're like, I think it's up for interpretation. What do you mean you think it's up for? You made it. You had a thought when you made it. You could just say, I'm not telling you. I
That's
hate
what they're
that.
saying. They're saying they're not telling you, and you're getting upset about it.
Say that. No, don't go. No, this is smart. Actually, I made this in a way that multiple people could. No, you made it. Way. Just tell me you're not going to tell me.
That's what he's
That's why I
saying.
like.
That's what they're saying in that
No, no, no,
instance.
no, no,
You're
no, no, no.
being dumb.
There's a big difference between Jane Schronenberg, director of I Saw the TV Glow and We're All Going to World's Fair. If you see interviews with him, if people ask him questions about that, they'll just go, "No, I'm not going to tell you." And that's it. They don't go, "Well, it is that way." Go, "You're wrong, but I like it. You're thinking about things."
You're assuming a lot, though. You're also taking interviews that come off of press tours, in which case, this is a director who probably isn't subjected to as much. Like, I don't have a lot of context for it. I haven't seen. I saw the TV Glow, and it's been a while since I saw We're All Going to the World's Fair. But those don't seem like movies that would have as large of a press tour as something that would have larger actors in it. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
but I
Take
would
Shelter
argue.
specifically, but
No, but I would argue We're All Going to the World's Fair is probably a movie in terms of you can interpret because there's literally scenes that are in there for it to mean multiple ways, and even then Jane still goes, "No, I have my way," but you can think just this. Oh, yeah, I hate. I think it's so up our own arse. Like
that's
you can't make a movie without thinking of the movie. There had to be something there. Tell me you're not going to tell me.
I
And this
can't
is
think of any instances where someone has outright said, this has no meaning to it in my head. It's only for you to interpret.
No, it's not. It's more that we just won't say that. See if we just go for as a because you can shoot things that are up for interpretation, but as a director, just say yes or no to it. You can't just keep going. Well, I think it's cool that people can take art of it. Oh, when Vincent Van Gogh drew some sunflowers, he was like, "That's a sunflower, mate." It wasn't going. Well, it could be a horse in your heart. It was a fucking. It was some sunflowers. Because he looked at sunflowers and went, "I want to do something." I hate it. It's such a. I went to film school.
You're drawing connections from something that has a lot of room for interpretation. You're drawing connections directly to, while art has emotion and purpose to it, and it tells us things, that is just a picture of flowers, right?
Yeah.
You're drawing a connection to something that literally is something else, whereas a movie has intricacies to it that a framed piece of artwork has those intricacies, but it's more in further interpretation. It's not in the immediate consumption of the media. The intricacies come in how you receive it, not just the receiving.
Yeah, but my point still stands. The director will have an idea. Directors need to stop saying things are up for interpretation. You can just say people are wrong. If you make a movie and someone comes up with it, if they're being stupid and misreading it, you can say that. I get it. It's just what annoys me about the end of this movie. We'll come back to it, okay, when we
Yeah,
get
let's
to
come
the
back
end.
to this because we're going in circles a bit.
Okay,
So
so,
we are
so
introduced
you're
to the
driving the train.
family in their breakfast. We're immediately introduced to the daughter feeding their dog her meal, and Michael Shannon, Curtis tells his daughter verbally not to feed the dog and then moves on from it. And it's not until he leaves for work, his daughter feeds the dog again, and Samantha tells her daughter in sign as well, don't feed the dog. This is the first instance of evidence we have that Curtis is not as involved in his family life. It's not that he doesn't care, but he's not giving it the energy he needs to.
Hey, my takeaway from this scene was he's not a good dad dog. This is something that comes up further in the movie. I was just a bit annoyed that the dog couldn't get the food. So what did the dog do? Dog's fine.
Well, yeah. No, we don't get much of a sense of his relationship with this dog because pretty quickly he maligns it.
That makes it sound so ominous. He maligns his dog.
He does. He locks it up in the yard.
And he's got like a single square foot of space.
Yeah, it's
Dog
sad.
shits, he's sleeping next to it.
Yep. Dogs don't like that. We're introduced in the next
I
scene.
like how pre-schizophrenia, he's also just a bit of a dick as well.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like a friendly dick. I feel like he'd be fun to have a beer with. I also wouldn't want to hang out with him whilst he's drunk. Do you get what the vibe I'm going for?
Sure, you'd want to hang out for the first beer and then leave.
Yeah, I feel like he would start saying some racist stuff when he's drunk. I don't know why.
Oh, definitely. You see all these good boys hanging out at this bar?
It's the conspiracy theory aspect of him, I think.
All these good old boys? Yeah, definitely. I don't think most of the people in this movie have good politics. I mean, he does go to see a counselor that is black. He trusts her. So maybe that's something to this character's disposition.
Well, the only reason he goes to her is because he thinks she's not that good at her job to be able to do anything here.
That's not entirely the case. He says way later on in the movie that he decided not to see the psychiatrist that was further away because he didn't think they could afford it. And that is sort of lined
he also says
in that conversation he's having with his doctor, he's pumping gas into his car that he can't afford.
Yeah, but then earlier in the film, he's also like, it's too far away, that's the main issue. It's not that I can't pay for it. And he's got a good paying job, does he not?
It's all in there. He's got a good paying job, but his house looks like it's 30 years old.
Oh,
his 30 years old. Up the idea
of
moving into a place that has $899 rent a week, and he seems aghast at that. He doesn't seem like they have steady finances. It seems like they are comfortable enough to live beyond surviving, but it doesn't seem like they are thriving. They're living in an area of America where the only jobs that seem to be able to be found are working on oil mining, drilling into the ground, probably a lot of secretarial jobs and note-taking, probably a lot of minimum wage service jobs, and I can't think of much else. This is like the Rust Belt of America. This is famously a place that has been kind of left behind by the rest of the country, and it's part of why our politics are so creaky now, is just because there's so many different parts of this country that need so many different things, and nobody's addressing any of them.
Okay, can we rewind to the fact that you said his house looks 30 years old, and that's seen as like a bad thing?
It looks nice, but there's
got
no
houses
new
that are
furniture.
So he doesn't buy new furniture. The guy refused to buy stuff until we absolutely have to. it's the unspoken rule amongst men. If we want something, we'll buy it straight away, but if we need something, it's not happening until we desperately need it.
Sure.
How many times, Chris, have you needed a wire and you've looked at it on Amazon and it says $6 and you've been like, but I could do without it for a few more weeks?
Probably around as many times as I've just gotten the wire.
Oh, interesting. Maybe this isn't as common of a thing. Maybe this is a me issue.
Maybe. I mean, I'm like that with things.
It can be an issue.
Men are famously like that with medical issues, which unfortunately I've had my share of time just ignoring medical issues. So if you want to compare on that, sure.
You walk it off. Chris,
exactly.
Walk it off.
Yeah, you do walk it off. You gotta get tough.
You get some, I don't know, like the equivalent of Calpol is. Do you have like kids' medicine that's like super sweet? It comes in a little purple bottle.
I guess so. Yeah, we have like candy meds for kids that need vitamins.
Yeah, there's like in the UK, every household will always have a bottle of Calpol that you take a swig out of, and then some Sudocrem, which is anti-rash cream, and you slap that on, and that's you good.
Ew.
You don't need anything else in life.
Ew.
How's that, ew?
Just rashes.
Well, it's not for your rashes. It's for like if you break your elbow or something, you just slap it on.
You slap anti-rash cream on?
Nah, well, to be fair, when I broke my elbow, I made a sling out of it, and that was me.
Holy shit, dude.
Well,
Okay.
I didn't make the sling. I had a nurse come out because I couldn't afford to go to the hospital. And she was like, you can do this with your t-shirt to make a sling. And I was like, oh, sick. And then when I could go to the hospital, they're like, yeah, it's already healing. You'll be all right with your little sling.
Damn.
But men
Yeah,
perpetuate the
that
issue
sounds
as
like
well.
men.
You come in with a broken elbow and they're like, you're sorted, mate.
Yeah, they're like, you did it, man. Actually, this is cool what you've done.
Oh, I mean, I popped it back into place, but by accident. So he was just like, yeah, thumbs up, good job.
Yikes.
See, ignorance solves issues. You don't need doctors. Just don't deal with it and you'll be okay.
We're on completely the other side of the wall we started on talking about this. Now we're defending him.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm on his side.
You're on his side.
Therapists are too expensive.
Who needs
He
fucking
has a hobby,
psychiatric
Chris.
help, man?
Chris, he has a hobby.
He
It can
does.
get pretty stormy in America.
Men need to create. Men need to build in America.
Yeah, he didn't. There was no Wi-Fi in his little house playing Minecraft. He needed to get that creative urge.
Yeah, there's
And
no
he was
Fortnite yet.
And do you know what? He was also learning at the same time. He was learning how to get heating down there. He was learning how to set up electrical lines to get power going underground.
We will talk about how sufficient this man is at setting this whole bunker up. It's impressive, honestly.
See, look, he's fine. Sure, just let him be.
Let's reel through a little bit. I'm going to pull us through two scenes really quickly. The first is pretty simple. We get Shea Wiggum, another favorite actor of mine, introduced as Dewart, his work buddy, and they are mostly on good terms, although Dewart seems to have a notion that Curtis is going to fuck his life up. Or he seems nervous about it. He just can't get it. He can't not mention that Curtis needs to appreciate what he has and not mess it up. We get through that. They go drink. They go to their happy hour. It starts raining torrentially. Dewart says, let's call it. Curtis says, we are not going to. And then the rain falls anyway, sort of showing a bit of distrust between them, or maybe that they weren't as close as they thought they were to start with. And then we get to
I don't know about that.
the chat.
He was sitting telling him about how him and his wife were planning a threesome. I feel that's pretty close information. I don't think you'd be giving that out to just anybody.
It's guy close, but do they trust each other? Do they
No, I
trust
think
each
if-
other on a core level?
Right, see, if one of my work homies came up to me and started telling me about that, I'd be like, this is uncalled for. Getting
Well,
HR on you.
For sure, yeah, but these are guys in the middle of nowhere, and guys like talking about their dicks famously. Do they like talking about their emotions? No.
I don't know, I don't tend to talk about my dick. I tend to talk about movies and TV shows.
Speak for yourself.
You're going to get fired from your work within a few months. That's why you're not getting the hours you want. I thought it was Chris back talking about it.
So then we do get to the scene on the porch of our main family's house where we have Dewart's wife and their kids have come over, and their kids are playing in the yard, but man, Hannah is the name of our main character's daughter. Hannah is playing on her own out by a pile of refuse. She's smacking a board into the ground that has a nail in it.
Look,
made
she's
me laugh a
taking
little bit.
no, she's taking from her dad. That's the creative juices flowing. She's just not worked it out yet.
She's testing it, right? She's finding out how things work.
It's like, see when cats see you open a door, so they go over and they try hitting the door. It's yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what she's doing. You're right.
Honestly, see if we get Jessica Chastain at the picture, we'll be building a new house within like 2 years. It'll be
should've
weatherproof as well.
Yeah, they should have just built a house instead of trying to buy one, arguing about buying one and then building a shelter. Just build a bunker house.
Oh, that's how they could get the money back. He could build a house, rent out the house, and then use that money.
Fucking
pay
hell.
back.
We're getting into Airbnb hell like 10 years before it actually happens.
No, because he seems to, he's got a good bit of land around the house. You build a block of flats, you get a good, 12 houses in that bad boy. Think of the rent money.
He should
He
become
stays
a
next to the
landlord.
opportunities for disabled children. There's a
You want
lot
him
of
to be
classes.
a
his daughters
much
go to.
worse person than he's depicted in this movie.
Yeah, but no, think of your landlord comes up and he's like, by the way, it's stormy outside, here's some gas mask in case the apocalypse comes.
I
Right,
would
chill.
fucking slap, I'll be honest, yeah.
I love a gas mask. The amount of
I
times
love-
I've looked at gas masks online, I've been like, oh,
Just in case
They're
we
so
miss
sick.
it, I need to mention, I love the shot so much where he buys the gas masks and then he looks at them disgusted and then throws them in his car. He's like, why did I buy this? It's a very
Exactly,
good shot.
it's the £6 cable discussion again. This is something he didn't need, bought it and went,
It
why the
is
fuck
that,
did
yeah.
I buy it?
Oh fuck.
I should have bought that £6
That's the
cable I've been
mortgage
needing.
I just spent.
Fucking hell, how did he rack up so much debt? He bought a big tin and like some solar panels. What universe is this costing him like the tens of thousands of dollars of debt he seems to be in?
Wait, keep going for a second.
What do you mean? What am I?
Just
Are you losing me?
just Phil,
Am
fucking
I in the
Phil,
void?
man. Fucking
What am I
Phil.
feeling?
Just Phil.
Uh,
I'm
uh,
just trying to find a picture of I took a picture of his calculation.
oh, are
It
we getting
was
math talk?
it was something about $7,000 that he was spending overall that he took his mortgage out for.
Too bad. Pay that back.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, it wasn't necessary like he thought it was.
And they make a big point about how his job, his children's getting like benefits from his insurance. He's not paying for that. He is very little.
Well, he only borrows the two things from work, and he does rent other equipment. I'm looking at this now. Because
Because he seems to own the house.
shipping container was like $4,000. That was most of it.
He could have just went to any scrapyard to be like, can I borrow this?
He spent $500 on PVC. He spent
Okay, that's fair.
close like between 1,500 and 2,000 on plumbing and waste, and also on a bobcat, which the bobcat he needed to get the shipping container into the garage.
I assume a
Jackhammer,
bobcat is not a
$800.
wild cat, and this is a piece of equipment we're talking about.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he didn't just get a bobcat.
I was like, why did
Bury it.
he basically got rid of the dog and bought a bobcat?
My favorite part of this though is that he spent $250 on dirt.
He owns land.
He went and bought dirt.
Oh, fuck, it's like, you ever seen the Minecraft survival SMPs where they need a lot of dirt for a build and can't be arsed with it to just buy it?
No.
Yeah,
Just
good on
so-
him. He's going to have a very impressive build. He set up all his redstone right.
Hell yeah.
I guess a good hobby to have. He's out the house.
He's good at it, is the thing. Like, you're not wrong that he could build self-sufficient living spaces. It seems like, anyway. They don't test the plumbing, to be fair. They don't test the running water in the movie.
I'm sure Michael Shannon probably tested that shit out.
That's what I was going to say. You have to assume he's testing it before he's saying, okay, that's good. Because he's installing what looks like yards of PVC pipes for the toilet. There's a shot I liked of just the camera lingering on the field and then the piping going deep into the field, and then it pulls down into the shelter.
You can't shit while you sleep, can you? No, it needs to. I would see your
No.
issue with this. I would see the ominousness.
You don't see the ominous?
I see very well integrated piping infrastructure. Props to the man.
You're not wrong. He's building skills he could use to join a trade union and get a different job, to be honest.
He's got the most productive schizophrenia mankind has ever
That's-
seen.
Yeah.
Imagine you have to go, oh, my husband went crazy. What did he do? He learned plumbing and electrical work. Fair enough. Every now and then you have to sleep in the bunker that has a working toilet and lights.
My husband has become
Let him be.
insane. He's a home designer now.
He's learning urban planning. Someone stop him.
What do we have? I'm gonna
Just
skip
go
a
away in the
bit.
movie.
My notes are maybe too intense on this movie, which is a big change of pace from Good Boy.
I think on your
shit.
good boy notes you had, there was a dog.
Yeah, basically, dog is cute was my note. I like Dewart. We get a shot of Curtis and Dewart going out drinking, and then they're in the car on the way home. Or actually, they're at Dewart's home, and Dewart pulls another tall boy of like Coors out of a freezer and starts drinking it in the car. Very funny. Don't do that. Just have your night. And then his wife is out in front of the car looking so pissed.
To be fair, he didn't drink and drive. Drank, then
for
drove,
sure.
then parked, then drank again. That's how you get
Sure.
around it.
That's how you get around it. All right. You're not entirely wrong, I'll be honest, because these communities in rural America, the bars are not walkable. So all of these areas of the country are designed in a way where people are encouraged to drink and drive, and it's just not really spoken about. Public transit is not funded properly. This is how we get into a lot of situations with just police and judges getting friendly with each other because they will let each other off for being under the influence. It's not worth getting into that deeply in this family drama movie, but you're touching on something real there.
Yeah, no, that also happens up here. We'll see if you start heading up the Highlands on random fuck-ass roads. It'll be like a yieldy pub every 10 miles. There's no one inside, someone selling drink.
And like you have to get home somehow. It's complicated, I would say, sociologically.
As long as you can walk in a straight line, fine.
Sure.
I will
I'm
say
gonna not
never,
render an
I
opinion
cannot,
on drinking and driving. Actually,
I
I'm
cannot
gonna go
drive.
negative on it. I'm gonna say I'm against drinking and driving. I'm gonna take a big stance.
Are you sure you're going to hold that controversial opinion?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold that really controversial opinion and say it's not safe and it's not good for people.
Well, I can't drive, so I'm immediately on losing ground there. What
I
I
can't
can
drive
say
either.
is
I can
I
drive, but I
also
don't have a
can't.
license, I guess.
I can't drive in GTA Online unless I'm hammered, and then you will see some anime level driving.
Hell yeah.
So transferable skills. Get me a few pints in. Sure, I could manage, but definitely have the confidence. Confidence is key.
I don't doubt that. I'll give you'd have the confidence.
I
I'll
was about
give you
going to
that.
a life story there, but I feel like I could get someone in trouble. So we'll move on.
Oh no, okay. I was gonna say go ahead, but if it's like that, sure, I'll trust your judgment. We have
Uh,
wife is angry. I didn't know if she was signing something at the car or if she was just waving him off. She does a big five fingers and then sort of a fuck off wave. I don't know if that was supposed to mean they were supposed to be back at 5, or if she really is just waving him off angrily. Then he gets home. I think at this point we're sort of past the initial setup of the movie as much. I feel like we can weave in and out of plot points a little more now because things are starting, and like you said, even the dynamics in this movie don't shift, they just develop. They just further themselves, which I get as being maybe less interesting than having a complete shift halfway through the movie, something like that. But it made it so much more interesting to me as, I guess, a tapestry, kind of as like a framed painting to just watch and interpret what has been happening in this world, what all these people mean to each other, and how that is affecting how they're all interacting with each other.
Oh, don't
I
get me
think,
wrong, I can handle like a drama, slice of life type movie. Like Sorry Baby, I think is still either one or two of my top movies of this year. But there's something about it. I think see how in movies the way you write dialogue can't be natural because movies aren't written with natural dialogue and it makes it feel thrown off. I feel like
sure,
this
yeah.
movie has a problem where it's trying to seem like a very normal, this is a real life situation that can happen. They have that heightened movie dialogue, and I don't know, I feel there's a tonal disconnect between everything because it's like we're trying to go, these are real people, this could really happen to someone, and I'm like, but that's General Zod, and I know, I don't get the feeling that these are people, they feel like movie characters, and I
It's
don't know if
General
maybe that's
Zod
just,
and that alien from X-Men Dark Phoenix.
it may just be because they're such big actors. I struggle to disconnect them from the actors they are. But
Without saying anything definitively, because I don't want to discredit that, I didn't feel that. I feel like you might be taking it just because they are recognizable to you. I felt like they were pretty naturalistic and made a lot of things work that maybe wouldn't have in the hands of other actors. There's a scene where he gets home late because I think he's gone to the hardware store with Dewart to get a bunch of fence to fence his dog in. And he gets home late when they're supposed to be going to a PTA meeting. And he is covered in dirt because he's just gone to work. His wife says he smells. And his response is to ask another woman if he smells. And then basically start flirting with some other woman and also his wife at the same time. And then that resolves everything. That felt natural to me. That felt like something that in a script makes no sense. It doesn't logically connect anything together, but in a room with people that have relationships, it's drawing on a lot of history and connection, and it's just people diffusing tension.
so I don't know what to tell you. If I was with my girlfriend and she was upset at me, and my response was, "I'm going to flirt with this woman behind us," I wouldn't be making it home alive.
No,
That would not quell the situation in any
for
way, shape,
sure.
or form. In
That
fact,
would
it
not
would
have
make
helped
things
me in
much worse for me.
it would not have helped me in any relationship I've had either. But I just mean that because it doesn't feel connected to logic in that way, it feels more connected to their history as a couple. And it doesn't make sense to me, but I understand that it makes sense to them and that it's not something that they're worrying about after this moment. It has resolved it and it's closed out
I
because
would
that's
like
who
to
they are
make
to each other.
a little side note for this episode. I am sick. You are going to hear me clearing my throat at times. I can't cut it. I'm sorry. It's in the audio. Nothing I can do.
That's unavoidable.
Please.
And we're both on about 14 hours no sleep at this point. You're at 16, 17?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm watching Beavis and Butthead as we speak.
Oh boy.
I'm
We gotta
I'm at
stem.
that
We gotta
level.
do what we gotta do.
There's something very unnerving about the way Butthead's just staring at me. I
You
think my
might be
sleepy
breaking the fourth
haze.
wall. You might be about
He's
to
listening.
get grudged by Butthead.
Oh hell yeah! A new fan. We need some chicks on the podcast. we'll back up. You know any chicks, Chris?
Yes, I know some. Do I know any chicks? All right.
Let's
All right.
just continue. Where are we at, Chris? I'm lost. I have no notes.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
also
you didn't
playing
have to
Cookie.
admit that so openly. I was working my best to make sure you didn't have to admit that directly.
No, they can know. They can know.
Okay.
You did it for
So the
last week. I'll take a bullet.
last thing we talked directly about was, let's see, I'm scrolling through my extensive notes. Humble brag. She waves him off. They get back home. Yeah, the PTA meeting is a little further on. There's this moment I want to mention where
Yeah.
what a dad moment, right? What a fucking dad thing to do. You leave home at 6 a.m. while everyone's eating breakfast. You get home after your child is asleep, and you just stare at them from your doorway, from their doorway, going, "Yeah, I have a hand in their life. You know, I'm a good dad. I got this.
I made that.
I made that." Yeah. And then he says, "I love her so much that I still take off my boots when I'm in the house so I don't wake her up." My guy, you worked in the rain, in the mud. Why would you not take off your boots anyway? Every time you
And
got
you're
home?
mining oil.
Yeah, brother.
This is like a Molotov cocktail.
What are you doing? It's just covered in like tar footprints, like there's a ghost walking all through their house.
See, I think that was my favourite scene in the movie, where he's like, we were talking about how they're whispering, even though she
Yeah.
definitely couldn't hear him. I feel like that's something that would definitely happen a lot.
Really good point. Holy shit, I didn't think about that. He's
Could
not
you- would
whispering.
you-
Is funny. She's whispering, but he's not really whispering.
It's like, see if you knew someone was blind and they were sitting watching something with audio description. If you stood in front of a TV, you'd still feel like a rude bastard.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, where I'm looking at your notes as we speak.
I
One
like
just
that
says
scene also,
worksite
I want to say.
$47.64.
Oh, well, we have to get to. Do you know what a copay is?
I do not know.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. That's some tease for our American fans. We'll get back to it.
Are Americans big fans of quiz?
No, they're really not. They hate them. We'll get to it. We'll get to copays.
I'm sure they're buzzing with excitement.
It's a
We get
insurance
to
talk.
copays.
It's riveting insurance talk.
Oh, you love to hear it. More money discussion. We're really getting into the the capitalistic side of this episode.
Well,
To be fair, it's very hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what else we need to be talking about up until then. He sees the doctor. He's working in the shed
Is this
more.
is when he sees the doctor? Is this when he has his little therapist book that he's telling her how to do her job?
That is
Another
funny.
classic dad moment.
I think he's seeing the doctor at this point. I think he's going to see
The doctor from Doctor Who.
Well, yes, he's going on a trip through time and space to try to find when everything went wrong and who started the storms.
The doctor heard he was a schizophrenic man. They had to make sure he wasn't taking his medication.
It's a really sad episode of Doctor Who.
Now that's how
No,
you should
he
end
sees
this
the-
movie.
He sees the
The
family
TARDIS,
doctor.
the family doctor. He was
Oh,
the old
did
man.
you not
yes.
see the TARDIS flying through in that very last shot of the movie? That's why.
Oh, I
that's why the
assumed-
wife goes, "Okay, they're all gonna go get in the TARDIS to get out of there."
Oh, I understand. Makes perfect sense.
exactly.
No, that would
no,
see if they ended this movie with a fucking UFO coming out of the sky. You might have got me on a 9 out of 10 with that one.
that would be
Oil falling from the
interesting.
sky. He works out. You could do something fun.
That's true.
There's
It
some critique.
Have you seen?
This is sci-fi horror.
Have you seen The Borderlands? I think we talked about it.
Yes, also known as Final Prayer. I think it's Final
Yes.
Prayer to use, and it's the Borderlands to us.
Oh, okay. Yes, that makes sense. Let's not say what happens in that movie, but let's just say that movie does what we're describing right now. Where, like, what if a UFO came out of the clouds at the end? That's a good horror movie if you want something.
Are we talking about the same movie?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll spoil it then. So skip about 30 to 60 seconds if you don't want this movie spoiled. The haunting of a church turns out to be a creature in the church. It's pretty
Yeah.
simple.
Wait. Does a UFO fly in the end?
No, I'm being vague, so I didn't spoil anything. But it's just a harsh right turn from your expectations into a surprising
okay.
ending. Yeah.
Okay. See,
It's
I
good.
was
I
like,
liked it.
because I know there's multiple different cuts of it, I was like, oh shit, was there a full, like, Cthulhu ass ending to this film?
Oh, I didn't know there were different cuts.
I think it's more just bits that were restored when Second Sight did a restoration of it.
Oh,
There's a nice big box set. I could go on and on about Blu-ray, so we're better going back to the feature
yeah,
film.
we'll inundate people with our Blu-ray love further into the podcast. Let's get them hooked first.
Could be a special.
I do think he visits the family doctor first, and he asks that doctor for medication. That doctor gives him the sleeping pills and recommends that he sees the psychiatrist in, is it Columbus, Ohio? I think the psychiatrist is at. He starts taking
Honestly,
the
I have
sleeping
no idea.
pills, and he doesn't decide to not see the psychiatrist immediately, but he does. You're absolutely right. He is chickening out because he does it in such a weird way. He calls he calls his family doctor at night in his home to say, please cancel that appointment. I don't want to do that. Can you
We've all
recommend
been
somebody
there.
closer?
We've all been in a situation where you have to cancel something last minute, and you're like, "I'm busy, so can you do that for me? I've got a long day ahead of me. It would be really helpful if you could just sort this one out."
I got my projects.
Your projects?
Yeah, his projects. He's building.
Oh, very low. Oh, okay. I was like, what's he doing in the project?
I did
I've
want to
missed a
mention,
huge.
I'm moving right past my note of the birds, I think crows that are swarming like locusts. Very cool imagery. I like that a lot.
Bro,
I don't know if that
I'm
struck you
looking
as
at your
much.
notes. $3.99 a week. Am I too far? Your notes
Buddy,
are so
I'm
long.
bouncing around at this point. $3.99 a week. Where is that even? Now we're doing note
It's-
talk. Now we're just talking notes. Might as well put
It's
these
now
notes up with the podcast episode.
I could try and condense the notes to really thin text and have our guys looking at that for feature movie.
We should do that. That'd be very funny.
Sunglaze. How are these notes comprehensive? These are things that you got one that just says home
Just says whole.
about the home. Just says home,
About
event,
home.
eating dinner.
Oh, well, everything, the hyphens are locations and settings, and then anything
Well,
past
even-
those are details.
Flirting car with daughter.
Here's how
Does
we
that
find out I'm the one coming down with schizophrenia. My horrible, insane notes.
What does flirting hyphen car with daughter? Remember this scene?
What are you misreading right now? Because there's only, I don't like this. I don't like whatever you're saying right now.
I don't know. If that happened in this movie, I'm no longer on his side. This man does not need a hobby.
Yeah,
Get him
so
locked up.
my notes say school. Setting is school. They teach the sign and then alphabet. The teacher is describing that they teach sign language to the kids first, and then they teach them the alphabet to help them integrate further into society. My next note says
Yes,
the
I'm
dad
reading
isn't
that.
really paying attention. My next note
Yes.
says flirting diffuses it. The
Yes.
note after that is just more flirting. And then
No,
hyphen
you
car
said-
with daughter
you-
is a full break. It's another scene. There's no flirting in the
You-
car with his daughter.
You put hyphens under the thing that you're talking about as like a subnote. You don't put a hyphen before the main point.
I do.
What is that?
I did.
Oh,
You can see
that's
it.
you're
What are
you're
you saying
watching
right
Cormac McCarthy. What is that? Was a
I'm
hyphen above her
Creating.
point?
I'm a man. I gotta create. Right?
Then learn plumbing.
Why do something a way that you know is good when you could innovate and
As
make
people
it?
might misinterpret
maybe
it
better.
as a man flirting with his daughter.
Well, they wouldn't have thought that until you read that out. The way you read it out.
The director said that's up for interpretation. Who knows what that means?
Let's move on from car with daughter. I mean, let's touch on it first because this is kind of where we're at next. It's he wakes up in another vision. This one I feel like is more obviously a vision. It's a little gray or sepia tone. Not sepia, but the color is drained out. These visions start having less warmth to them at some point. And his car crashes. Crazy people start breaking his windows down, steal his daughter. You get a weird sense of what at this point I feel like is pretty clearly supposed to be a biblical plague that's coming. Some sort of biblical thing to be afraid of.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
causing
I
people to go
thought.
crazy.
That was another thing that disappointed me with the movie. The birds being like an omen of death, and then it was like I don't remember anything about like oil raining from the sky, but I thought, oh, that could be a metaphor for something. But and then just nothing. It seems like the director gave up on that part about halfway through. He's like, I don't know how to get the frogs and the locusts in. Gotta go back
The
to his Minecraft.
locusts, to me, are just the birds. The birds represent the locusts pretty clearly, carrying the disease.
Nah, because you can eat a bird. In an apocalypse, a bird would be a good food.
bird. Alright.
Yeah.
But the imagery, that's what he's trying to present to you, at least. He's
I
not
don't know.
forsaking the
See-
idea of the locust. He's trying to transmute it into something that fits in the setting.
I don't know. You throw me in an apocalypse where there's a lot of birds flying at all times. I'm just putting out a net.
They could be sick birds. Aren't those crows that are flying? Aren't crows famously, like, they feed on carrion? They feed on sick and dying things. They probably aren't the healthiest birds.
What do diseases do, Rose? We're doing a little side note research.
We're all learning today.
West Nile virus. Oh,
Yeah, That's bad,
Oh.
man.
No, but the name. Okay, maybe you're onto something. Because it's the plagues in
Also the
Egypt.
Nile. Yeah, very true.
But they have Salmonella and E. coli, which you can cook out of things. Campylobacter you can cook out. They have pox, which is kind of bad. But a lot of this is bacterial stuff. If you cook well, be alright.
I'm imagining you in the rapture. Fire is everywhere. People are screaming, and you're roasting a little bird over a fire, going, "Yeah, you know what?
I mean, I'm looking at it. The pox is only transmittable through bites. Oh no, it's bites from mosquitoes to humans, so you'd be fine with that. Roosting sites can have airborne pathogens,
Interesting.
which is a bit. Yeah,
That's
you would
creepy.
need to clean them well. I think you could do it. Can you eat crow? One sec. We're getting to the
Isn't that a
bottom of this.
saying? Isn't eating crow a thing you don't want to do famously?
Can you eat crow? Yes, and it was actually pretty good by themeateater.com.
This is a crazy discussion. This is
No.
unhinged from both of
I'm
us.
getting pop-ups asking what type of things do I want to eat. Chris, are you
It's
interested
not.
in western big game, whitetail, bear, mull
No,
game,
I don't want a white-tailed
turkey,
dove.
waterfowl, land bird, hunting with dogs, wild one, predators, fishing competition?
Wait 1 second.
Oh shit, Chris, it's
Do you think
biblical.
you could roast a predator tendril? Do you think you could cut one of their tendrils off their head and roast that, and it would be a nice snack?
I don't know, but I'm reading here, I ate crow is a statement from the Bible, from chapter Leviticus, of the
I
birds,
just
these
told
you
you
shall
that.
loaf, they shall not be eaten, along with crows. The list includes vultures, hawks, falcons, owls, and bats, crickets, which are not birds. Thank you for that. No, I feel I'd eaten most of them.
You definitely don't want to eat a bat. That would get you sick.
I'm sure some people eat bat.
Ozzy Osbourne ate a bat.
Yeah, and he had to get his stomach pumped.
Yeah.
Yes, you can eat bat in some parts of the world, though it is not common, and or is dangerous due to potential diseases.
I bet bat wing is what you want. I bet if you have a good bite of bat, it's roasted bat wing.
Oh
That's
no, I
my
was going to
guess.
see if you fry that shit. I guarantee it would be like almost a meaty potato skin.
Ugh.
Oh.
Oh, just sloughing off of the bat. Ugh.
Apparently, the Bible says you cannot eat anything flying that swarms, but any
Boiled
winged
bat. What
creature.
about boiled bat?
It says in Indonesia you can have a bat soup. That would stretch you pretty well. Live with bats or kill them. There is a third option.
I'm
I'll leave
losing my
that up for-
fucking mind talking about bat soup.
It's Indonesian food. It's probably pretty good. Don't knock it till you try it, Chris.
I'm not knocking it. I would try bat soup. We've just found ourselves talking about bat soup is all.
You can cook it with ingredients like ginger, coconut milk, onions, and spices. You can boil, stew, or roast, but don't eat fruit bats as they're more prone to certain diseases. Yeah, the Indonesians are whipping out the coconut milk and the chilies. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's some real cooking.
What's the wildest thing you've eaten, Chris?
The wildest thing I've eaten. Probably nothing too crazy. I've had gator.
I've had gator. I've had gator and kangaroo.
We've had
Gator
venison
tastes pretty
recently.
good.
Gator's good. Gator's like chewy chicken.
Actually, I thought it was more like a big chunky slap of burger meat. It didn't make me feel sick like beef does.
Beef makes you feel sick.
Yeah, too much of it. I'm also looking at a video right now where someone is playing with a dead bat in their soup and vial.
You're so much more ADHD than I am this episode.
That soup in Pilau is pretty intense. Hell yeah. Right, Chris, where are we at? Let's do some research.
Where I'm bringing us next is talking about the wife's side hustle. Because we see at some point that she is creating in her own right. She is designing and stitching and putting things together. And then we see her go to a market to try to sell her design. And she is getting run fucking ragged by this horrible woman. She says,
To be
I want
fair-
this pillow. Samantha says, that's great. It's $15. I worked really hard on it. The lady says, I've got 7. Won't budge. Samantha devalues herself and says, I'll take 10. And then the lady goes, you will take 8 and I will give it to you in coins. And Samantha says, yes, thank you. Horrible. As an
bartering
artist,
skills.
horrible interaction.
Bartering skills at the bottom. She needs to get that shit practice.
Absolutely L charisma. Just nothing.
You really need to sit her down in front of Life of Brian and show her the bartering scene. Get her some life skills. See, look, she's sitting judging her husband's hobby, and she's shit at her own one. Do you know what this is? It's a tale of jealousy, Chris.
Tale of jealousy. She's not doing well. Even later, in a almost funny juxtaposition, they show him digging, bringing in all this equipment home. They put $7,000 on the screen at some point to show you how much money he's spending on this. And then they show her back at the market at a later scene counting about $12 in singles. Like, she was going to need to get another job anyway, I think. I don't think that was cutting it at all.
you've got a level of insight to this that I don't, because if I see American change, I don't know what any of that shit is. If it's
From what I
moving
could
fast,
tell, she
no
was
clue.
counting 12 to 18 single dollars there. Like, she maybe sold 2 designs at that next market.
Yeah, what's up with you guys using paper for a single dollar? A bit much, is it not? Why can't you just have a nice little coin?
No. I was wondering what you were gonna suggest, like a plastic note. But yeah, coin makes sense. I feel like we might be heading that way. Our pennies are. Oh, that's a whole. I don't even want to get into the pennies. The pennies is political somehow.
Wait, do you guys still use actual paper? Is paper money in the UK is plastic?
It's cotton, I think, technically.
Cotton money?
I think so.
You can make a nice like jacket out of that shit. Imagine making a jacket out of like $20 notes.
Yeah, it's composed of 25% linen and 75% cotton. Why?
But what?
I don't know, man. Because
Surely when your wallet gets wet, paper gets all soggy.
oh yeah, all the money like disintegrates.
Yeah, you've got all ass backwards there. You've got a nice piece of plastic. Got a bunch of like hologram sigil and braille bits and everything through it, so they're very hard to replicate. Even if you hold it up to the light, there'll be like little red pattern and lines shooting through it.
I was going to start with something about the environment, but manufacturing money can't be good for the environment no matter what it is, right?
I
That's just gotta
imagine
be a
you're
net
probably
negative.
you're probably getting about the same with the amount of power you're using for like contactless money transaction. Because when you carry money, you're not using it too much. When you've got contactless, you're constantly using those little machines.
Yeah, money is being printed constantly, though. I'm thinking more about the environmental effect of paper versus plastic currency. Once you bring it back to everything is created in factories that run constantly, it's not good anyway. There's no positive.
No, but it's the plastic that people wouldn't be throwing away. Who's going to throw away a £5 note? Being put to active use at all times.
Interesting. I'll take that.
Okay, Chris,
Yeah, we've run way off course.
how many of those paper notes do you think it would cost you for some bat soup?
So we've got this first disastrous market that Samantha's going to. Here's where we get the chlorine gas leak news. Curtis and Samantha are at home watching a news report that a chlorine gas leak has killed a mother and child, and the father of the family has survived somehow after 16 hours, I believe, of breathing in chlorine gas. And this is why Curtis buys gas masks. Not because he's afraid of some sort of gas-related ecological disaster, but just because he sees that this happens to a different family in a way that you assume is pretty preventable or was just a freak accident. And he decides that that means his family needs protection against gas. And maybe he's not wrong, because that probably isn't airtight, that situation they have in the basement. What was your question?
I just said L in the family. My phone on me is very good because I'm also looking up, apparently, depending on the concentration of the gas, if it's low, you'll be a bit irritated. If it's high, it starts to burn you from the inside out. So I don't think that man's surviving 16 hours.
No. Yeah, chlorine gas will cook you, I think. So his lungs are fucked.
I tend to not be breathing around chlorine gas too much.
Same, I'll be honest.
So why do you know so much about chlorine gas?
I have no idea. Movies, maybe? That murder I committed? I'll cut that out. Now we have...
I'll loop it.
One more time?
Said I'll loop it. You'll hear it 6 times.
No.
Don't
add it to the front of the podcast.
I'll loop it 6 times before the intro starts, all in varying mixing.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna correct myself. There is a shift in the dynamic between the husband and wife, between Curtis and Samantha at some point. Because we hit a breaking point, effectively, when Curtis pees the bed and he won't say what happened. He just gets mad. He doesn't want his wife anywhere near him. She realizes that he's shutting her out. There's another scene. I'm going to start shoving things together because, we're moving through this movie at kind of a snail's pace. But there's another scene where she just asks him directly what's wrong or what's going on. And he flat out refuses to engage with her, just says, "I'm going to check on Hannah," and leaves the room. And she starts sobbing uncontrollably. Hard scene to watch. Felt very real to me. But they come around. He becomes more honest with her. It never becomes easy. They never are directly cooperating. they are finding how to get to a place where they can cooperate, but he is open with her and she sees that and is willing to work with him at some point. So he winds up admitting about the psychiatrist he didn't see. He admits the visions he's been having. Forget if there's any other admissions of what he's been dealing with. The dog, he mentions why he put his dog in the backyard the way he did. And his wife gets almost a look as if she is dealing with a very troubled child. Like, the reason was so simple all along, and not like, why couldn't I see it, but just, oh wow, he was struggling with this single thing that she looks almost forlorn about it, you know, that this thing was what came between them, but they seem willing to work on it. They seem willing to move forward, which is, I guess, not surprising, considering that she knows about his family history. And they probably have discussed in the past, if schizophrenia comes up, he is around the age that his mother was when it was triggered. So it's probably something that's in the air already around them. It might be something that is affecting why they had this divide at the start of the movie.
Interesting. I took it as, because from her point of view, I saw it as she would have assumed he was cheating because of how blatant his lies were, and he's always home late at night, and he never wants to have an actual conversation with her anymore. And at one point in the movie, he flinches from her touching him, which Ellen him, Jessica Chastain, I lost, buddy.
Can't disagree.
Honestly, do you know what he should have done? He should have included her. He should have been like, look how cool this little base is. That was his He could have went, I'll make you a little swing station in the corner. Can make us little pillows.
He tries to, but too late. You know,
because he's like, look at the toilet I've installed.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to bend the hobby to fit their interest. This man's only ever had one girlfriend in his life, and it shows. He's inexperienced in this game.
This game. This game's weak.
Terrific. What did she show interest in at any point in this movie?
What did she show interest in?
Yeah, she likes doing the dishes, I suppose. She does the dishes quite a lot.
She likes her projects. I think she would have enjoyed at least the concept of tackling this together if he had brought it to her immediately and said, these are concerns I have. Maybe we could theorize about turning the shed into some sort of shelter, but that wouldn't have caused action. There would be no building at that point because she doesn't take it as seriously as he does. She doesn't believe that it's coming soon. But she is creative in a way that it seems like she would enjoy working on that.
Yeah, but even with a better lie, he could have just flipped it. He could have been like, I've really gotten into the idea of like a little shelter in the back garden. I think it'd be fun. I'm going to start doing that. And then no suspicions would be raised when he's out in the middle of the night buying scrap metal and going, yeah, I'm not telling you where I'm from. He could have just went, oh yeah, it's for my project I'm doing. This is entirely his fault.
That would raise way more questions.
Why man wants to build a shelter? What's questionable?
He has to get work equipment at some point to dig a hole in his backyard, which is when she's actually upset. Before, she's confused, but once she comes home and sees that he is digging a hole in, I would say she sees it in that moment as her backyard, because there's so much of a divide between them. She comes home and she sees him digging in her backyard without her consent, and that's when she's upset.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's the consent angle. What you say to her is, see my little hut? I need to dig a little hole just over in that corner of the land. You can have this, I'm having this little corner. You make her feel like she's getting the upper hand in this situation. She has more of the back garden.
Like a sitcom, he puts a big yellow line down the middle or down like 3/4 of it.
Yeah, this is my side and this is your side. See, there's ways he's just a dumbass.
I think
he could have manipulated his way out of this.
I think he's aware of how she's going to react, and that's why he's concealing it, though, because he tries lying briefly, but she immediately asks him where he's getting the money for everything. And that's when it's obvious that they wouldn't have gotten to that point cooperatively. They would not have agreed to spend that money on that project.
Yeah, but it goes back to the male issue. He could have done this on the cheap. This is him bitching out of having to dig the hole himself. It's a spade. I'm sure his daughter would have found it fun to go build the biggest hole we can in the back garden. She's already smashing it with a little nail. Just give her a shovel. shovel and let her at it.
I don't think it's just that though. Like digging a hole to fit a shipping container in with a shovel would not only be more work than using construction equipment, but the hole you have to dig, I think, would have to be deeper and wider because of the way that digging with the shovel works.
Exactly, not up or shut up. If you want that little base, you have to put in the work. You can't just turn on creative mode. It's not how this works.
Not for nothing, he just works with this equipment all the time. This also is how his brain is programmed to work at this point. He sees a problem involving construction, and his solutions involve the tools that he's been using every day, every week for his life to solve problems every day.
No, he seemed kind of shit at his job. Most of the time, he was just stood about looking at a little pipe go up and down.
He's very distracted, and he doesn't listen to anybody. True.
What even? I understand. Okay, he's getting, I presume, oil from a little pump in the ground, and they're like, "Oh, you have to meet deadlines." I mean, the pipe's fair. Looking at it, on occasion, he needs to slap it back into place, and that's like that's the peak of his work ethic. He just gives it a little nudge.
Yeah, true. I haven't decided where I come down on how this movie ends, but to me, the one single big point of evidence towards it being in his head is the motor oil rain. To me, that indicates that he feels guilt over what he's doing. That the connection between impending ecological disaster and continuously mining oil out of the earth connects in his head in a negative way.
Oh, see, that's an interesting point, actually. I thought you were going to mention the fact that he went, "Hey, mate, do you see those birds?" I went, "No."
I love that as a scene early on, though. Like, just proving to you that you're not going to get confirmation. Proving to you that it's about
I think his friend
perception.
looking at the sky and going, "Nah, there's nothing there." I think kind of definitively says, "Oh, he's crazy."
I don't think he does. He keeps looking at the ground. At least if it's the scene I'm thinking of when Dewart is working in the oil rig and Michael Shannon, Curtis first sees the swarming birds. The first vision of them. He stares at them and he backs up while looking at them to talk to Dewart. Dewart doesn't hear what he's asking, and then he says, "Have you ever seen birds fly like that again?" And Dewart just goes, "What?" And then it cuts. He never looks up. And I like that he never looks up.
Oh, because I feel like if your best friend was prophesizing the apocalypse from a storm from birds that you saw in the sky at some point, you'd be like, "Yeah, those birds were being a bit strange."
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, where we at? Give us going. Piss the bed. He's talking to people.
So we are just basically getting to... the bed was wet. Let's talk quickly about the wife seeing not the family doctor. She's talking to someone. They must not be at the insurance company because they're talking about their company insurance sort of in a third-party sense. But she's at a doctor's office asking about cochlear implants for her daughter so that her daughter can hear, hypothetically. Mm-hmm. And we're told that they need to wait 6 weeks before they can get in on an appointment, but their insurance is great, and so that's great. They gotta be proud of that. That'll come back up later. Now we're to the most important part of the movie for us to talk about, picking up his medication, right? So he walks over, he saunters over, he says, "This doctor told me to get these meds, said they'll really help me. Here's my insurance." And the lady says, "Great, that's $47.64. Curtis says, "What's the copay?" She says, "That is the copay." Yikes, dude. So what a copay is, what those meds cost, and he's paying $50 for what seemed like 12 pills, like a few sedatives. If the $47 is the copay for that, that means that those pills, once they were rung up in the pharmacy, could have cost between $100 and $200, maybe more dollars. Then he tags his insurance card. They run that. Insurance pays a certain premium on it that is predetermined based on how much you're paying them. And then what's left over always in America after the insurance pays their bit is the copay, which sometimes the copay is $0, but usually it's going to be somewhere between $5 and $30, which is, even if you are as covered as you can be, you have insurance, you have good insurance, you keep on top of it, you still have to pay for your medication.
To be fair, it is a sleeping tablet he's getting.
It is, yeah. It's not like...
He could just buy a lot of cheap ones.
Yeah, just get some melatonin. He's in America, he could buy melatonin. melatonin.
I was about to say, at least you guys get sleeping pills. We have to get a prescription for them, and even then they're like, oh, they might kill you. Like, nobody just want to sleep.
That's interesting.
Right, don't
I
take
guess
too many.
he did say it's a sedative, so it might be something slightly more. I don't know. I don't know drugs.
So what classifies as a sedative? Maybe he's getting ketamine.
Truly could be. Yeah, I don't know. He said it's a mild sedative, but what does that mean to doctors? Doctors used to give cocaine to kids.
Good on him. We should bring it back.
Yeah,
That
get
makes
more
it-
sugar.
It's just anything that depresses your brain.
Oh, the other thing to note in this scene, right before he leaves the pharmacy, is she says that is the copay, and he takes out all the money in his wallet to pay for it. Every single bill he has $60 in his wallet. He's gonna have like $10 left over is spending money after this.
He's moving on. No, he's moving on to contactless. Come on, the world's moving forward. He has to too.
World's moving forward. That's right. He's getting rid of his cash. That's what he's doing.
I'm looking it up, and all antidepressants are considered sedatives. So a mild sedative is probably nice. Probably getting some, I don't know, Clodimol.
Yeah.
Shout out strong Clodimol. That shit will knock you asleep if you take
Lorazepam
too
or
many.
something.
Anything with a Pam in it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, sure. Yeah, I've been on
Give that to kids too.
several in my time. They make you kooky. I don't remember most of my middle school because I was on a cocktail of antidepressants and sleeping medication that just made me basically in a fugue state most of the time.
Yeah, antidepressants are weird. It's like, oh, you won't feel as shit anymore, but you can't think. So what's the point in that?
Yeah, you just don't exist anymore.
It's
You
weird.
want,
It's like you're
you
in
want
a-
to take the bad part of your brain away? That's cool. We'll just take the whole brain away. How do you feel now?
And it's like it's almost like derealization. Like you know that you're behaving normal. It's almost as if you're viewing yourself. It's like you're watching yourself do things.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. It's what I've described to a therapist, is it felt like I was watching someone else's body interacting with the world. I was described as having instances of depersonalization in middle school.
I got that shit all the time, but I think it was more my sleeping issues that were causing that. I
Yeah,
still
I didn't
get
have
it
the
from
sleeping
stress.
issues until my parents made me go on ADHD meds and antidepressants, and then they made me take sleeping meds, which caused more sleeping issues.
See, in high school, I was my peak of bad sleeping was I could go about 48 hours no sleep, then hit 4 hours sleep, then go another 24 to 48. And do you know how productive life was back then when you were playing games? Holy shit! If I could go back to that sleep schedule and feel as okay as I did in high school sleeping like that, insanity. I can get 9 hours of sleep and feel as shit as I did back then now.
Same. I mean, I would have such a fucky sleep schedule. I think my habit was staying up all Wednesday night, so all through Wednesday and Thursday, because then I could sleep normally Thursday night and Friday night.
It makes
Otherwise,
sense.
I would not.
You can't deny the logic. It's fair.
It was there. It worked, man. So where are we
Okay,
at
where we
now?
at?
We're at another dinner. Let's just pass by it. There's not much going on. It's just family drama. They're talking about the house that they want to get, $899 a week. He seems not happy about it. He takes a shower. He takes 2 pills. We go to the next day. He says he slept well when they have breakfast. He says he slept great. He didn't have any nightmares after taking the normal amount of sedatives. Notable. I don't have much to read into that, but that's notable to me. Then he
It's
goes
almost
to
like
work.
listening to a doctor work sometimes.
Right, yeah. And it's almost like he should have just seen the psychiatrist. He's at work. He's having a bad time. This is the most schizophrenic he is in the whole movie. He's going, "Are you worried about that thunder?" And Duart goes, "What thunder?" And then we hear the thunder and we see him freaking out, even though it's a clear sky. He throws up. He just drives away manically without saying anything to his coworker. He's having a bad day, and I think he's doing it to himself.
Those sedatives messing him up. You shouldn't think he's antidepressants.
And
Remember,
then-
kids, stay unmedicated. It messes with you.
Hell yeah. And then he, in such a problematic way, he just drives off all crazy and then stops in the middle of the road because something has latched into his mental illness again. There's a shipping container that he thinks he can use.
Well, I wouldn't say that's mental illness. He used that to a better ability than most people would use a shipping container.
No, very
can't
true.
deny.
But you see what I mean? And I'm coming at this from someone who, watching the movie, I don't know how I fall on it. I don't know if I think that he is just crazy or there's something happening in the movie. But if you take it from the context of he is having a psychiatric break, he is having a break in that moment right then. And then, like a bolt of lightning, he sees the shipping container and feels calm again because it fits into his worldview, because it's not causing him discomfort the same way that reacting to fake thunder around people who don't hear it is.
Good to see you. So you're bringing up a lot of points. I'm like, that's interesting. I feel like you have to think very, very, very hard whilst watching it to hit that level.
I really liked this movie. I don't do that with
I know
all
you watched
movies.
it twice.
Yeah.
You don't watch a lot of shit twice.
No,
I think you've watched anything twice yet.
No,
Watched Wrong
I
Turn,
don't think
didn't
I
you?
have. Yeah, we watched Wrong Turn a couple times, and then I lost the episode on Wrong Turn. I'll take that one. I'll take that out.
We're not doing it again.
No.
It's not happening. No, gone. Well, I said the same about the Predator dropping, and then you got the shits.
Yeah, that's
So that went
why we put the Predator
literally
out.
and figuratively down the toilet.
God, I'm sorry we subjected you to listening to people talk about The Predator. It's that bad of a movie.
Oh,
No
we
one
made
should
poor
have to.
Quentin watch the Predator. Quentin, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Quentin. You didn't deserve that. I hope you enjoyed the scene where someone gets speared through the taint. That's something.
He thinks the autism funny. Maybe he got a good giggle.
Oh no. He's gonna go the other way. He's gonna really love The Predator. What a horrible
He doesn't
thing
update
to
on
learn.
Letterboxd anymore. Can't tell.
Oh,
Maybe
it's
he's
because he loves
ashamed.
The Predator. He doesn't want to get raked over the coals for it.
He's going to have an alt account that just has the Predator, nothing
This
else.
is Quentin, the beautiful artist who makes our beautiful art, by the way, that we are making fun of right now. Thank you, Quentin.
Making
What an
fun of it.
amazing
He
person.
might. We're saying maybe he had a change of heart. Maybe he's a person. This isn't negative.
True. It's just we're just talking. We're just talking is all we're doing.
Chris, where we at?
We are at visiting mom. Right now we're going to the psychiatric institute, or sort of this live-in care facility, to visit his mother, which we've had inferenced up until this point that she is schizophrenic, because the therapist mentions that his mother had a break in her 30s. But I am not entirely positive if it's specified that it's schizophrenia until this point, because she... Go ahead.
No, earlier in the movie, when he's talking to the doctor, he says you've got a history of paranoid schizophrenia in your family, do you not?
Okay, thank you.
See, I did watch a movie.
Hell
I just
yeah.
forgot most of it.
Not too much though. It's still useful.
And it seems his mum isn't out of her delusions at all either. Because the second he brings it up to her, she starts talking about how he thinks people are following her, and he just has to cut off the conversation. Which is what you're supposed to do. I know if someone has schizophrenia, the worst thing you're supposed to do is entertain their delusions, even if you think it's helping them in the moment. Which, to be fair, no one in this movie does with him. Everyone just goes, "No, you're a nutcase, get help."
Yeah, and then he entertains himself.
Finds a little box and he's like, "Yippee!"
The TARDIS.
He finds a TARDIS and installs.
Exactly. That would be a better ending to this movie either way.
Jodie
As
Whittaker
if he
shows
goes,
up.
I actually built a new box. This box will get us there.
Jessica Chastain goes, "Well, what about the space? Don't worry, honey."
Don't worry.
Oh, Michael Shannon would be a good doctor.
He would be fun. I would enjoy that.
I feel he'd smoke cigarettes though.
He definitely would smoke cigarettes, yeah.
Maybe this would be if HBO picks up Doctor Who. We get an 18 rated.
True doctor.
Okay, I'm getting distracted. He's okay. His
It's a
mum.
prestige miniseries. He visits
His
his
mum isn't
and-
better, and he's like, "I'm fucked."
Yeah,
And cooked
pretty
chat.
much. No, he says he's fine, actually. His mom goes through all of this. She describes all of her suffering to him, and she goes, "But how are you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm good, actually. Things are good." And
Yeah,
then
but
they just cut.
Is immediately followed, though, is it not, with him holding up the psychiatrist being like, "I have 3 of the 5 symptoms. I don't have
So I
schizophrenia."
think you're right, yeah, which is very funny. And it's what I really like about that scene and that dialogue is they don't really let on what he or the doctor thinks entirely. It seems like he's thinking, I am testing positive for schizophrenia. And it feels like the doctor is thinking, you have not checked enough boxes. Because he says, they say maybe it's a minor break. And what can you help me with for that? The doctor is just kind of responding to him and not really, I guess, on a positive note, not helping him diagnose himself, but also she's not diagnosing him. She is just a talk therapist. She's a therapist from a free clinic, we're told later, who doesn't have authority to prescribe medication, probably doesn't feel comfortable even professionally describing to him what she thinks he has. She can only help him deal with the problems set out in front of him as they present themselves. So
It's more like a life coach.
Exactly,
kind of
yeah.
situation.
And he's put himself into the situation, like you said, by refusing to see the psychiatrist. It's the first step of him sabotaging himself, because he really tries, he buys books on psychology. He tries to understand what could be going on with his brain, but he doesn't want it to be true at the same time.
I took the scene as definitely knows schizophrenic, and he's looking for someone to even entertain the idea that he might not be. And I think that's why he's scared of talking with his wife, because his wife probably know the signs through interacting with his mother.
Interesting. I like that. That
No,
makes
yeah, see,
sense.
I was thinking, I didn't have Beavis and Butthead on a second screen.
Yeah, it's helping. It's helping.
Okay, so
He
while
wasn't around
we're
when
on,
his mother presented. That's worth saying. He says he was 10 years old when his mother presented symptoms. He doesn't know what his mother's symptoms were.
no, but he does know she left him in a car, did she not, on like the motorway?
Yeah, I think just going shopping. So I'm not invalidating anything you've said. I think that all still plays really well. But there's also just more uncertainty in the air because nobody really knows what she went through. She doesn't even, his mother does not even remember how it presented. She says she just remembers it was a stressful time. So
Oh yeah, because
we're
schizophrenia
operating.
doesn't really work if you. A lot of schizophrenics do know their delusions are false, but it's more part of their brain fight back against the idea of it not being real. Like, did you ever see the Free Jesus experiment where they took three schizophrenic people that believed they were Jesus
No,
and
I
had
know they
them
made a movie
interact?
with Peter Dinklage, though.
Yeah, apparently it's really offensive and bad.
It seems bad. I feel like everyone would have been talking about it if it wasn't bad because it's
Well,
such a weird
even
premise.
like a lot of the doctor's notes on it were about how, like, on occasion you could get through to them, and in those moments you could see that they don't entirely believe it themselves. That their brain would always like snap back at the slightest showing of, because it's almost as if the fake reality that they create is escapism for actual reality. So maybe what set off his schizophrenic episode was more of, because he seems to have like the perfect American dream life. He's got a job with good health insurance. He has a house, got a wife, he has a daughter. His health insurance is helping his disabled child, which is insane. But he just doesn't seem happy with it, and maybe that's the kick-off, him creating a world where he needs to have a goal that he can escape what should be his happy life with this insane fantasy that the apocalypse is coming and he needs to protect everyone, and that's why he can't be as happy in his life as he should be.
I
Now,
think that's really
see,
interesting.
I didn't
I
just
think
think
that's
the
a
movie
good
shit.
point. And
Good,
there's
it's
things
good.
in the movie, like all the refuse in the backyard, that could point to not him preparing for some event, but just trying to find something to do with his time that gives him purpose that he's not finding with his family. His wife's creating things all the time. Maybe he sees that and wants to try to build a shed in the backyard for his dog. I think his dog does have a doghouse, but I like the ambiguity in this movie a lot. And it comes at the price of being sort of somber and underspoken, but I think that's worthwhile. I think it plays really well. There's the one sequence in this movie that is not somber and underspoken that I think we're going to start breezing through a little bit here. So I want to make sure I mention he has a vision where he is with his daughter at home, and then he hears a ringing. He seems to feel intense pressure, and all of the furniture in his home lifts off of the ground like Professor Xavier is having a panic attack. Cool.
I don't remember the scene.
You don't remember this scene?
I
The
don't remember the
levitating
scene, Chris.
furniture?
Don't remember the scene, Chris.
Straight up, this scene plays like Professor X from Logan is like 20 feet away having a mental attack. And he reacts almost like all the bad guys in that movie react when they are being hurt by that psychic attack. All of the furniture lifts up off the floor and they have an intense ringing sound before everything crashes back down and then reality settles back in. And it's the most out of left field that any of the visions get.
Chris, you're going to have to continue taking the rules here as I put up this movie and find this scene.
Okay. I don't remember specifically where it is in the movie, but like you said, most of the visions happen closer to the halfway point or before then.
Yeah, I watched the last 40 minutes before we started, so I know it's not in there. Find it.
Okay.
Just keep us going.
Yeah. That happens, and I just wanted to mention that because that is so notable to me. I don't even know why, and it could just be truly a depiction of him struggling with his mental illness while trying to keep his daughter safe. It could
Because the
just
way you
be
describe it, I was thinking rapture imagery, the rising.
very much so. Yeah, no,
And then the
it
loud
triggers that
noise,
as
you always
well.
get like Gabriel blowing his horn.
Oh
Or
yeah, the trumpets of the apocalypse. I forgot about that. That's an interesting.
well, I don't think it's I think it's not a horn.
The horns, yeah.
I don't know, I'm skipping through. You need to keep me going. Michael Shannon's got such a big chin, doesn't he? My God.
He does. He looks like a glacier. He looks like some sort of natural rock formation. In a way that I find him, not that I find him necessarily attractive, but there's a beauty to his face in how crazy it looks. Just like how a mountain is beautiful, even though it's just a bunch of rock. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure he would be very happy to hear this conversation.
I hope he would be.
I thought you were just going to end it at the uniquely attractive and then not
No,
rinse this poor man.
I think Michael Shannon is beautiful in the way that just like an iceberg is beautiful. Like it's there and it's a natural formation, but it's amazing that it's there.
It's also
You know
really
what I mean?
fucking big.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, look at that thing. That sounds less complimentary.
Oh.
There's a vision, because this is right after he talks to the psychiatrist. I think what I was talking about was before that. He has another vision where he is, and this is maybe the most ambiguous vision besides the last one of the movie, where his daughter and wife are asleep in the car behind him. It could be real. He gets out of the car and he sees fantastic lightning. I say fantastic in a scary sense. He sees lightning that is, fantastical, intense lightning that is arcing back and forth in a beautiful way, but in a way that feels wrong and feels bad. And then the lightning cuts out. We just get a black screen for one moment, and then we have a cut I really loved to his garage door opening. The black screen starts panning up, and we get light shining in from the bottom of the screen, which is not where that usually happens from. Usually when there's a burst of light illuminating a scene, it comes from the heavens. It comes from the top of frame. And so it's fascinating that the light is introduced into his grim vision from the bottom of the screen in this instance. I don't have a meaning for it, but I like the imagery.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I skimmed through this entire movie. I do not see this furniture floating. Are you sure this wasn't a strange nightmare that you've concocted in your head?
Guarantee you, because I remember it's him.
I'm looking at the lightning. The
It's
lightning's cool.
before the lightning, I'm pretty sure.
So you've got I'm all ass backwards here. I'm going back. My God, so much close-ups of Michael Shannon's face. I can't tell what any scene is.
It is a lot of his face. He is this movie in a lot of ways. This movie wouldn't work without him.
And his glacier face.
Exactly. Just gradually moving.
Oh, hell yeah, I've got a side profile. This man's chin goes out like a bee. Backwards
hell
bee.
yeah. He's got a Bruce Campbell chin.
He does kind of look like he could be Bruce Campbell's dad as well. Maybe you're all
He's just
related in
everybody's
some way.
dad.
Not my dad. Oh, not my dad.
We cut to him digging this big hole. This is what I mentioned earlier, where he's digging the hole with Dewart in the backyard with all the construction equipment. He's asked his friend to step out on a limb and come help him illegally, which is important because later he turns on his friend and asks to have him removed from his job crew because he has a vision of Dewart hurting him. I'll get to that in a second. I find that interesting. But his wife comes home and is very, very mad because he's digging a big hole in their backyard with construction equipment, and she's not expecting it.
I think we've discussed this point at nauseum.
Oh yeah, no,
we've had
really
three
have. I'm
conversations
just
about his hole.
moving through my notes because
We're going through Michael
point,
Shannon's hole. No focus on it.
Oh my god. It's important that happens now because the next thing that happens is they argue. He has that moment where he refuses to explain anything to her. He cuts out. She sobs uncontrollably. And his response is to take too many medications. And he wakes up.
I'm seeing that as we speak.
There we go. He wakes up screaming in pain and bleeding, I believe, which to me doesn't bode well for his character after the movie. Like that can't be healthy. He stops them from calling the ambulance. So whatever has happened to him stays done.
No, the ambulance checks him out. They say it was probably a mild seizure.
They do? He doesn't...
It was from biting his mouth.
Okay, because he does rip the phone out of his wife's hands and says, "No, I'm good. Don't come." But I guess they came anyway, and I'm forgetting that. Okay.
We think about Donald Trump gonna come.
Oh my god, I don't want to think about that.
We're all coming.
To do that. Stop.
But I've looked through
It's
this
gonna be a
movie 3 times.
come.
I don't see this furniture scene.
Good fucking god.
So
I
the ambulance come
don't know
to
how to
Michael
help you with
Shannon's
that.
hole, and he tells him go away, not having it. But actually, we're getting close towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
We're going to be at like the 3 hour mark by the end of this.
I know, that's the thing. We just gotta start cutting through a little bit more. He's digging, he's got them checking up. He gets fired for stealing the equipment. He gets fired because he removed Dewart from his crew. Dewart snitches on him because he doesn't understand why that would happen. There's no reason. I'm going to back up slightly to this vision he has of Dewart hurting him. It's interesting to me because it's the only vision that we don't see in the movie. It's the only vision we know happened that we don't see happen because he describes it to his wife. And it's a moment of connection for him and his wife because he is finally talking to her. He is finally being honest with her about at least part of what he's experiencing.
But do you think he actually had a vision? Or the amount of times he's had episode in front of him and has been immediately shut down, he's looking for any excuse to himself that he needs to get this man away from him so he can stay in his own little bubble.
Interesting.
Because why would he not show it? I feel strange that we didn't show it. Honestly, I just assumed that I was an EP boy and fell asleep for 5 minutes. But I was like, I know what's going on.
To me, the reason they didn't show it is because that scene is about him including his wife. And his wife can't see the vision. She can only hear him describe it. So we are taking her perspective for one of few times in the movie. We do not get her perspective much beyond when he leaves for work or when she is selling things on her own, mostly interacting with her daughter. To me, all it was certifying the connection that what's important in that moment is that they're talking to each other, not that he had a vision.
I see you watched the same director interview that I did.
The same what?
The same director interview, the one that exists online.
Have not seen any interviews. I didn't want to influence myself at all.
Oh, I'm not alone in this. At first, the letterbox in my friends list had you giving it good, and a YouTuber I watched giving it a good review, and then someone else called it a little bit mid. That I know makes me feel better.
That's funny.
Okay, so
Everyone's entitled to
obviously,
their opinion.
I think we need to get to it because we're looping back.
Yeah,
Because like the movie is kind of showing he's stuck in this self-destructive cycle. But the
I don't
problem
think we
with
need
that
the
now
notes
means
much anymore, really.
that when we talk about it, we're going to keep going in cycles of people were like, "What's wrong with you?" and he doesn't speak to them, and then he has a cookie vision, and then he's like, "Fuck these people, I'm going to do my own shit," and then people say, "What's wrong with you?" and he doesn't talk to them.
Yeah, and it's important to mention that another vision he has is of his wife trying to hurt him. That's what causes him to pull away from his wife physically. But he has trusted her with the information about why he distanced himself from his friend. And because he's finally talking to her, she can infer that maybe he had a vision with her in it that is scaring him. And she's able to ask him about that because he has already been as open as he has been with her. So they're finding a different rapport. It's not perfect and it's not fully new because he didn't open up soon enough, but they are trying to find a balance with each other. And that follows through the rest of the movie. The wife, Samantha, takes charge more. She takes their vacation fund, which is a huge talking point for the very end scene, by the way. But she takes their beach money and says, now we need this to give our daughter a good life. We need to put this towards our daughter's medical care. There are many things up in the air, but that's primarily what that money is supposed to go towards at that. Now that he has been fired, he has lost the insurance. The insurance lasts for 2 more weeks. They need to wait 6 weeks to get her an appointment. They're not in a good way. His brother comes by to ask, what the hell are you doing? I enjoyed this scene. He just gives his brother his dog, and his brother's going, all right, man, I guess you're all right.
Hey, dog?
Yeah. His brother seems to think he's a lost cause, but he's not. Curtis is not letting his brother help him, so he can't help him, basically. I think about watching this scene being the brother and the actual apocalypse happens and you go, oh, fuck, little bro did have an idea there, huh? Let's see. I think we can move forward to... Can we move forward to the storm? No, not the storm siren yet. They go to the dinner. His wife does all of this. She takes charge. She says, we're using these funds for our daughter. We're making changes and I need you to support me. And then she says, I need something normal. Let's go. I think it's to his work dinner, to a dinner for the workers at the company he no longer works at. But I guess it's such a close-knit community and there's nothing going on anywhere that they kind of just figure they can show up and it'll be okay. They get in fine. There's not really a problem with that. There's families there. But pretty quickly we get a lot of side-eye. We get Dewar, Shea Wiggum, like skulking around in the kitchen, staring at Michael Shannon. Kind of funny, kind of a good image. And we start
Yeah, I
getting
found
other
this
people.
interesting because I didn't think this was a work dinner. I thought this was for the class of the disabled kids we were at the beginning of the movie because it seems like a very, not like a, I don't know what your equivalent of a primary school be, but the step above kindergarten, the room they're in has like kind of lunchroom vibes.
It does. I was taking like workhouse lunchroom from that though, like almost like a galley in a ship.
Is he a pirate now?
Shut the fuck up. No, just like a low rent, something they put up with plywood and sheet metal so that the workers could have a place to eat that wasn't in the middle of dust and wind.
Strange. Well, maybe need to go back on that and see
Yeah.
if we can. Because she
I'm
calls
not certain on
the
that one
dinner
either,
a
now that you
name.
say that.
She doesn't say what it is. She calls it like the Golden Dinner or some shit.
Yeah, the Golden Arm Dinner or something. She says the name, and I don't remember if that's the name of the company or the Lions Club lunch. It's called.
The Lions Club. Now that sounds very child-centered.
Really, Lions Club to me sounds like a men thing. It sounds like all these dudes, hardworking dudes. It's the Lions Club. We're gonna have our lunch.
Are you saying if you heard a grown-ass man saying, I'm going to the Lions Club, and you said, what's that? And he went, oh, it's my lunch break room. Would you not be
I think he'd
questioning
say, What's
something?
that? And he says, I'm gonna have a couple beers with my buddies. Something like that.
My
That's
buddies
what I would
being
expect.
my co-workers, 5-year-olds, and
Well-
we're eating fried fish out of a little plate.
All right, point taken. But either way, the end result is that he's in a room with a bunch of people he has worked with up until recently, including the person he has very recently maligned. And we get real Chihuahua energy from Dewart here. He is so much smaller than Michael Shannon, but he is really coming at him. He's not accepting when Curtis says, let's not do this here. He keeps shoving him. He pushes him over the table, and then he gets his knee kicked in like he has pissed a horse off. And we don't see him
It's a
again
good
ever in
kick.
the movie. It's a great
It's a
kick. It's
Trying.
like, it feels impactful even though they don't sit on it for too long. It feels good in a bad way. It feels chunky.
Trying to think. Do you think you could take Michael Shannon on in a fight?
No. I think that's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, I've
You think
googled
you
him
could?
shirtless. He does have the dad bod build. It doesn't seem like he's got a lot of muscle in the forearms. In the actual chest area, it doesn't seem like he's
think
been
he's just
going
too
to the gym too much.
big. How tall is Michael Shannon? Like 6'5"?
That's a good
I'm
question.
6'1", and I think that's too much. I think he has too much height on me, even.
No, because then you can go for the ribs.
I guess, man. He doesn't seem like he would be that phased by being hurt, though.
Oh, he's 6'3".
That's not... Oh,
He's a big
interesting.
boy.
He is. That's not as big as I thought. He just seems
Who
sturdy.
do you think
He
this
seems
man
like
was?
A tree. I thought he was
Because
a couple
that
inches
chin.
taller than that.
Yeah, but see if you give a punch up on that chin, you're breaking that shit. Yeah, he
True.
hasn't got the density in it before.
I guess that's the thing, is are we talking about a character Michael Shannon played, or are we talking about Michael Shannon, the guy who seems like kind of a sweetheart in real life, who probably wouldn't get into a fight at this point?
Well, I doubt we're talking Michael Shannon, General Zod.
No, I would not beat General Zod in a fight. I would be reduced to ashes in seconds.
Okay. So
I could
Michael
beat
Shannon, I
Michael
feel
Shannon, the Doctor, in a fight.
like you take Michael Shannon on in a fight.
Yeah,
He does have the crazy eyes, though. He might be one of those people get up in a frenzy.
that's what I'm wondering. His characters always seem to be that kind of manic, but the vibe I get from him in real life feels like maybe he was like that when he was younger, but he seems very dad chill right now.
I didn't mean the crazy eyes in an offensive way to Michael Shannon. I'm watching the end scene. This man's got some good crazy eyes.
He does. He has a great mean face.
Do you know he would kill CV for whatever reason did a Silence of the Lambs remake? I feel he could do a good Buffalo Bill.
He would. He would be really scary as Buffalo Bill, actually.
See, in fact, if this is casting directors' jobs, get a guy and be like, you'd be good.
Yeah, it's interesting. Casting directors you'll see pop up several places. It's got to be a real talent. It must be a lot of networking to be a casting
I
director.
feel like it depends. I feel like if you're like a high level casting director who works with like big names, probably just have
Take
free
whatever you
reign.
want.
Yeah.
I want this guy. I want that guy. I want this guy. Very probably. To conclude
Okay.
this scene with the fight, Michael Shannon he does not calm down after kicking Dewart in the knee. He loses it. He flips the table over entirely. He starts screaming about, "There's a storm coming. There's a storm coming!" Like nothing you've ever seen.
He's channeling like Grandpa Simpson from the Simpsons movie.
A little bit, yeah. Sleep well in your beds, he says, because they won't be there anymore.
And I
And
think he says it may be your last.
yeah,
Horrifying in a
something
room
like
full
that.
of children.
So grim. And to me, what makes this scene is that he looks at his daughter and cries afterwards. And his wife comforts him after she sees how much he hurts over this. When she sees that all of this, all that he's been going through, yes, might be a psychiatric break, but it's all coming from a distrust that his daughter is truly safe. That all he wants is assuredness, some sort of concrete notion that even in this situation he's imagining his daughter can make it through, that his daughter can have a hope, that she's not going to die inhaling chlorine gas because he wasn't prepared. I think that's really powerful how that scene ends. And the fact that it brings them together as a family is very impactful.
Yeah, it's not that I think this is a bad movie. I enjoy it for what it is. It's more I just feel like there's a lot of missing potential. I feel like things could have ramped up more. I feel like there could have been interesting confrontations between him and his wife. And I feel like it just kind of...
They never have a confrontation like that.
I get that that's what it's supposed to be, how that's like a genuine thing that both go through. But at the same time, I feel like at one point one of you would just snap. Wouldn't be able to live with Michael Shannon doing this. See if I woke up in the morning, my bank account was gone and Michael Shannon was in my back with a new shovel, I would rightfully be rather pissed, regardless if I knew Michael Shannon or not.
There's maybe something missing between when she slaps him and storms out, when he loses his job, she picks up her daughter, she leaves the house immediately, and I think she gets driven back with, I think a friend drives her back to their home, and her first reaction is to take their emergency vacation funds. They don't tell you how long that was or why she felt comfortable going back to the home. I think she incidentally winds up talking to him there, but they don't really express why she feels comfortable possibly talking to him again. There's some of her story that we don't get, for sure.
Yeah, well, it would have to be fairly
not even
recent.
Including ramping it up further.
No, it would have to be recent because she brings up that she's going to try and move the daughter's surgery up. So it has to be at least within a few days, at the very most.
I think that's part of her running down a list of things that they need to do, which is that they're taking the vacation funds, they're spending that on their daughter's surgery, that they're going to try to move their daughter's surgery up so that they can afford it under their current insurance, that they're going to call their insurance company and try to get their premiums extended till the end of the year so that they can keep paying the same amount that they were. And all of that kind of concludes with them finally sleeping together in the same home again. When they wake up, they hear storm sirens.
No, it's the next day we hear storm sirens, is it not? Because he sees his daughter out on the road. Or does he have a vision of that and she just has to be there?
They just wake up to the storm sirens, I'm pretty sure. And they run into the basement in the middle of the night.
Oh, you're right. We're finally getting to the crescendo. We've been here for 3 hours.
We can finally kind of close this out a little bit because there's a lot going on in the movie, but it's not going to be the most to talk about. It's very interesting that his wife keeps asking to be let out and he won't let her out. The gas masks come out briefly and then everyone falls asleep in the bunker. And when he wakes up, his family is not wearing their masks. And this is a moment of maybe not evidence towards his mental illness, but evidence that he is not fully just thinking about his family, is that he sees that they're okay, they're breathing fine, and he still refuses to take his mask off. Even when he does take it off, he in a way I found funny because that thing was expensive. He throws it on the ground violently because
Yeah,
he's
because he
not
realised
ready.
he wasted money on it.
Maybe also that, honestly, maybe also that, yeah.
He
But
could have rented a digger for another 2 hours if he had that money.
yeah, just get an air purifier.
Oh shit!
But at
I
that
didn't think about
point,
that.
he locks them in effectively. They've been locked into the basement, but they say, let us out. His wife says, let us out now. And he says, I can't do that. And I think one of the most powerful personal dynamic moments in the movie is she says, he first says, you open it. Here is the keys. That's okay. You can open it, and I'm okay with that. And she tells him that nothing's going to change if she opens it. If she opens it and it's fine outside, that's great, but nothing is ever going to be the same between them. He needs to open it. He needs to be willing to do that himself. He needs to take an active part in this relationship.
It's an interesting scene, but I don't really know what I'm to glean for it because he does eventually open it and he's like, "Oh, it's fine." I feel
That's
like
the climax of the
immediately,
movie.
yeah, but immediately following it, like it doesn't help. It's almost like the scene was. I don't want to say it's pointless because it's still from Jessica Chastain's character. It's her trying to like finally bridge this communication gap and try to work with him through
I
his
think
issues.
that's
And it just
it.
doesn't work.
I think ultimately this movie isn't about finding a solution or even making solid headway on finding a solution. I think the core dynamic and the core arc of this movie is them learning to trust each other again and
I would
believe
argue
that
he's
each of them
done.
has best interests in mind at
I
heart.
would argue he has done nothing to gain her trust back whatsoever.
I agree entirely, and I think that's why that is the climax of the movie to me, because she is giving him a lot of chances and she is taking charge, and he's willing to let her take charge at some point. But when it comes down to it, she needs him to choose the future they're choosing together over this future he's designed for himself. I don't think it's anything concrete or solid. I don't even think it promises that they will wind up somewhere solid as a couple or as a family, but I think in the core arc of the movie, it shows that they have come back around to be together, to be partners, because they weren't at some point in the movie.
Do you want to head us off into the second last scene of the movie before we talk
Yes,
about
is this just the therapy
ending?
scene?
Yeah, just the therapy scene.
Yeah, which
It
I missed
seemingly
the first time I watched
finally
it.
goes. How did you miss?
I think I fell asleep. It was just
But he
very late.
seemingly he goes to this actual doctor that he's been putting off throughout the entire film, and then he's like, "Sorry, bud, I can't help you. You need to go to the nut house." And he's like, "What do you mean the nut house?" And she's like, "What the fuck up to it?" And he's like, fair enough."
Yeah,
But
he's not
this,
directly saying you need live-in care for the rest of your life, but what he is saying is basically like rehab. You need to commit to this entirely if it's ever going to get better. And
yeah, it
he's
feels
unwilling
more
to
like
leave his
he's.
family. We haven't talked about his core fear that he's operating against is having to leave his family and not live with his family anymore the way his mother did.
It feels more like doctors telling him that this is like something that just won't go away. This is just something he has to live with
I
professional help.
I think it's unclear whether the doctor is saying that directly or, sorry, whether the doctor is hinting at that, trying to say something that he will accept more graciously than just, this is your life now. Or if the doctor is legitimately saying, you have a chance to work with this in your life, but you need to spend months, if not years, in inpatient care to get a handle on it. I think that's purposefully left a little bit vague.
I think it's supposed to play on like because his mother clearly in like the 20-30 years she's gotten better at it with help, but she's still not healthy, and that's supposed to kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah, it certifies in his mind that it's not momentary, that it will be permanent. Whether or not that's what the doctor's saying, he doesn't see leaving his family as something he can come back from.
Okay, Chris, we've reached it, the final scene. But
I love
everyone
this.
comes to like, no. It's so from the second you see the synopsis of the movie, you know this is going to be the end.
You
It's
do.
such
That's
the
one thing I don't like
voice for the
about
ending.
just movies like this is that they would be so much better served if there was less given, if you knew a little bit less. If you Google Take Shelter, it markets it as a horror/sci-fi movie, which oversells it.
Yeah, no. I'd argue this isn't a horror.
No, it has horror elements, but it's a family drama, pretty front and center.
Perfect for our podcast, eh?
Yeah.
Uncanny Family.
Well, I hadn't seen it before I selected it. I knew I would like it. I knew it was going to be something I liked, but I did not know really what to expect. But we come onto this last scene. We see Jessica Chastain in the kitchen, I believe, in this house that is not theirs. I have to assume it's rented. It's maybe a timeshare or some sort of rental situation. They are on a beach, which I looked up the area that they were in. There are beaches closer to them than where they wanted to go. I think they wanted to go to Florida, was their beach plan. I don't remember exactly, but
I'm sure, no, would this not be like a little holiday home? Because she said that they usually do it every year.
they do,
So I would
yeah.
assume this is like just like a little cabin thing that they rent out annually.
So that's the thing, is deciding whether or not it's the place that they go to annually. And from that, there's many questions that get raised, which is starting from Samantha already took the money that they were going to use for this, which they were still saving for. They hypothetically didn't have enough to comfortably do this yet. She already took that money. She said they needed to use it for their daughter. Unless, hypothetically, they moved the appointment up. Unless, hypothetically, they were able to extend their insurance policy. Unless, hypothetically,
move it up.
they both got jobs.
No, they didn't move it up because his daughter signing to him, because that's how he notices the storm. 'Cause his
Right.
daughter has to sign there's a storm behind him, so they didn't move it up.
Which, to me, says, and it's tough. I don't know where to come down on this, because what I'm about to say infers that they didn't spend the money on their daughter. But what I take this final scene as is he agrees to go to the facility, finally, off screen. They've had conversations. They decided as a family to take one last trip together. And then that's when this really does happen. I'm 98% sure how I'm interpreting it. Like I said, there's some doubt in my mind because of the orange rain. That, to me, feels very psychologically coded in guilt or in his own world, in his own context. I don't know what the orange rain would be, the oily rain would be, if not a manifestation of what he's been doing to the environment. But I see this final scene as real.
You think it's real?
Yeah. I think he has decided to go to the facility. I think they have managed to either, well, I guess, extend the insurance policy, probably not move up the implant. And I think that his wife has gotten a job that she feels comfortable with, even if he is in a care home, and they've decided to take one last trip together.
I think it doesn't matter, and I don't care either way, because this is always how the movie was going to end. It's not like they set up like some big mind-bending twist, and the director's like, "Oh, I'm so glad this is people talking." No, if you leave it intentionally ambiguous, 50-50, of course people are going to talk. They're not just going to go, "That's the ending." Yes, it's such fucking basic, easy ass way out of it. The second he had the idea, he knew that was the end scene, because anyone with any sense of media literacy knows, oh, that's going to be the cliche end scene of the ambiguous movie.
I like this ending more than anything certain.
Such a shit end, and it's so give you a fucking AI to put the ending for this movie, and not a creative licking his body. My God, what if we had a realistic family drama and then we chose the most basic ending possible? Wow, congratulations, director. Wonder you've not had too successful of a job afterwards. That's your pinnacle of creativity.
He was supposed to make A Quiet Place Day One, and I was interested in seeing that beforehand.
A Quiet Place Day One's good.
Someone else good, did it. Yeah, and it's Michael Swarovski, the guy who directed Pig, did a really good job with it.
Oh, I've not seen Pig.
Oh, you should watch Pig.
Unfortunately,
don't read up too much about Pig. Just watch that one.
Seasonal times are coming up, so Pig may have to wait.
True.
No, end thoughts.
Let's Take Shelter. Yeah, I really love it. I would have watched it a third time before we recorded this if I had time. I'll watch it again at some point. I will get the Blu-ray at some point.
I say mid. Sorry, that's fine. I was teetering on a 4-star, and then that ending bashed it down for me. I was like, you bastard, you better not do the ending that everyone thinks you're going to do, and they did it.
I loved it. I was happy with it. I knew they were going to do that from the scene when he sees the birds and he masks do you see those, and they don't even look.
I knew
Which,
from the second it said man has apocalyptic visions. I was like, oh well, it's gonna be an ambiguous ending in it.
man, are you the pessimistic one in this one?
What does it matter either way? Either okay, he was nuts and he's still nuts, so the movie was pointless and nothing helped him, or it's the apocalypse and he's dead. Wow, incredible ending.
That's the thing, ultimately, right? This bunker is not going to do anything. They're going to live there for like months and then die in the bunker. It's not, he hasn't created a self-sustaining society. He hasn't figured out a solution to anything. He's just creating a turtle shell in which to retreat when the whole world burns. And
Yeah,
that's
if we
it.
catch the birds, Chris, you make some soup out of the bats.
Damn,
We've
he should get
discussed
some
this, it'll be
bats
fine.
in that cave. Yeah,
You see? Well,
I liked it. I
take
like
shelter,
this
everyone.
director.
Press next week. It's my choice.
Do you have an
Hopefully,
idea
this
what
is
you're
one that
thinking?
more people have seen. Have an idea. Seasonal times are upon us, Chris.
Oh,
What
no.
season would that be?
That's Thanksgiving.
Exactly, Chris.
Oh, I was worried you were
No.
going to say no because you're Scottish. You would go, oh no, Thanksgiving.
No, it's perfect. And before, I know Eli Roth is a shitbag of a human.
Oh, okay,
We
here
can't
go.
do anything about that when it comes to horror. Almost every horror movie ever has some shitbag of a person. You can't not review things if there's bad people involved.
Yeah, we can acknowledge it.
We just we start next episode by going list of reasons why fuck Eli Roth. Anyway, the movie.
It helps with
Ethically
a
pirated.
movie rather than a book or something created by just one artist, that a movie has so many cooperative concepts and ideas going into it that it's not just that one person anyway.
Because if we can't do Eli Roth, then we also can't do Hostel, can't do Cabin Fever,
Yeah, we
and
gotta
do
check out
whatever.
Fever at some point.
Whatever his new flop was, the weird zombie movie he had with the guy that made Bliss, like the weird metalhead guy, that looked really cool, and then he released it in like 2 cinemas, and then said, "Why did it only make £20?"
Eli
I was like,
Roth
"Oh, I
made a
wonder why."
zombie movie recently?
I think it's a zombie movie. It was like a collab with another director that, okay, the other director makes edgy shit in like the vein of Rob Zombie, but Bliss is half decent edgy shit. I quite like Bliss.
Bliss.
But
Okay.
anyway,
You're not thinking about
Hidden Gem.
Borderlands, are you?
No. The same guy that made Bliss also made like a Santa robot slasher.
Oh, weird. Okay.
It was quite bad. We're avoiding that this Christmas season. But hopefully a movie people have seen, so people can't get angry at us. It was pretty big and it's festive, colonization and such. Yippee.
Yeah, I have seen it before, but I'm interested to watch it again because I haven't seen it since it came out.
We still don't know how to end these things.
No, we're going to close this out now. You can catch us at Uncanny Valley Podcast on Instagram, and we're going to have an email set up soon so people can email in with their thoughts, suggestions, comments, questions, any other assorted forms of thought or concept that you might want to send in. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a spooky night.
Bye bye.